We are ready now for the final race of the day in Madison, Indiana. Here goes the Valvoline Miss Madison. He has had all sorts of problems with that boat spinning out. He just spun out after leaving the dock. He's getting re-spooled again to take the start with the rest of the field.
Miss DOC with Mitch Evans in the final. Fine day for them so far. Valvoline Miss Madison, Mike Hansen, and they have lane 1, tight lane. Winston Eagle, Mark Tate will have lane number 4. Lane number 3, Scott Pierce and Miss Budweiser. Lane 2, the American Spirit with Mark Evans. The trailer in this event will be Jack Shaver Jr. in the Motorcraft. He'll trail the 5 to the starting line.
And let's remind everybody this is a 5-lap heat. Oh, there again, they had a little bit of problem with the Valvoline Miss Madison. Boy, there's all sorts of problems getting that boat through that turn down there. Again, we keep talking about holes in the water. That's the space between the waves, and it can catch the sponson of a boat and throw it into a spin.
Now, here it is. It's a flag start. They're not on the clock. If they're even, the referee, Mike Noonan, will release them, and they'll be diving down to that first corner, side by side. It's poised. Are they ready to start? They come onto the bridge. 4 boats. Madison will have to catch up. The trailer is the Motorcraft, so 4 will come to the line if they release them, Dick.
Okay, and right now we see the inside boat is the American Spirit, and there they have been released, and it is Mark Evans who's going to try for the lead in turn number 1. Outside of him in lane number 3, it's Miss Budweiser. Lane 4, the Winston Eagle. Winston Eagle, Mark Tate powering hard and on. He's got a lot of way to make up. It's a narrow turn down there. Mark Evans in the American Spirit. He said earlier, if you open the door, I'm going to come knocking, and there he is, knocking on the door. It is the Miss Budweiser trying to catch him on the outside, along with Mark Tate in the Winston Eagle. Boy, is that some sight for racing.
There was an awful lot of water down there in turn number 1. We may have had a couple of boats touch. We don't know yet, but I saw an awful lot of water, Dick. We couldn't see through the spray, but here's the battle.
Something just came off the Miss Budweiser. I don't know what it was, but it flew up in the rooster tail there. There may have been, as you said, Jim, damage down in the number 1 turn. We'll try to check it out. All we know is that the Winston Eagle and the Miss Budweiser were the 2 outside boats. There you see the sponson on the right side of the Miss Budweiser has damaged. So as the Winston Eagle now takes control of the course, taking over the number 1 spot from the American Eagle, we know for sure that there is sponson damage to the Miss Budweiser. We can only assume at this point that the Winston Eagle somehow moved in, and there you see it, left side Winston Eagle. Those 2 boats hit together.
Oh, as we look at the Miss Motorcraft with Jack Shaver Jr., boy, the evidence is there. 2 badly damaged boats, but it's the Winston Eagle out. Oh, wait a minute. I'm getting word from the URC upstairs. Referee Mike Noonan from the helicopter has called a 1-lap penalty on this boat, the Winston Eagle, and we're hearing that it's for, I guess he lost the boat in the turn and cracked into the Miss Budweiser into his lane. So by changing lanes, no matter if it's his fault or not, he is penalized an extra lap. You're not looking at your leader. Your leader is this boat. It's the American Spirit. Boy, the damage they've sustained today, Dick.
I'm a little bit concerned about the Miss Budweiser damage because, as you saw, it was very severe to the right side of the boat, and as it's continuing to run at high speed, we could have a problem with that boat starting to rip apart. You saw the Valvoline Miss Madison still in it, even though some problems at the beginning of the race, and the Miss Motorcraft is still in the race also. There you see the Winston Eagle coming around, and the damage is starting to break on the upper side of the deck, and that could be a problem for that boat also. The water coming up through the sponson.
Both the Miss Budweiser and the Winston Eagle are shedding parts as they go. Here is your leader, about to compete lap number 3 of 5. This boat is penalized an extra lap, and it's too bad because we had a real Donnybrook going before they collided. Here's your second place boat, Valvoline Miss Madison, Mike Hansen driving.
Well, this is certainly a thrill for the hometown crowd. As we said earlier, 13,000 of the fans gathered here on the banks of the Ohio River in Madison, Indiana, actually own the Valvoline Miss Madison boat. You saw a little glimpse of the damage to the Miss Budweiser. Still Scotty Pierce, still on the pedal and holding in. Here's your second place boat again, the Valvoline Miss Madison. Look at how that sponson damage continues to grow on the Miss Budweiser as they are still well over 150 miles an hour on the straights, and Mark Tate has not backed off of it at all. He, I'm sure, has been notified by radio that he's been penalized a lap, so he'll try to at least come up and lap some of the field.
It's too bad because the Miss Budweiser back in Heat 3A set 2 new records for this course. The competition lap record at 137.4 for for the 6-mile heat. The old record was 132.4, set by Circus on this course last year. Also, the fastest lap was lap number 3, 138.6, and that's a new record for the Budweiser team.
Jim, we might also mention that the American Spirit is getting off part of the prize money to charity, both on the East Coast and the West Coast. And here this team, and we describe their boat as an American flag screaming across the water at better than 200 miles an hour. But Mark Evans has literally led now because of the lap penalty to the Winston Eagle. He has led from start to finish.
Scott Pierce here won the Winston Ultra Lap Award this past weekend. That's 3 as top qualifier for the Budweiser team and gives them a big edge toward the Winston Cash Award at the end of the season.
There's your leader. This is Mark Evans in the American Spirit. Here is his brother, Mitch Evans, in the Miss DOC Ray-Ban. Well, this is quite a brother act that we've got going out here. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to recall if we've had another brother act for a while.
And their dad, Norm Evans, a very fine driver in his heyday some years ago in the late 60s, early 70s.
Scott Pierce only has to look off to the right side of that boat to see the damage as the checkered flag comes out. He's got to be just sweating getting the boat back to the dock, as has Mark Tate in the Winston Eagle. But here's your winner. This is the American Spirit, Mark Evans. Look at him in the cockpit reacting with the waves to the crowd, bobbing his head back and forth. What a finish for this crew. Second place and a big cheer from the crowd for Mike Hansen in the Valvoline Miss Madison.
And it's the first win ever for Mark Evans. It's got to be quite a thrill. That's 3 different races, 3 different winners for the 1991 season that started with the Gold Cup back in Detroit. And actually, when you come right down to it, the last race of 90, the points transferred to this race, and that was won by Miss Budweiser in Hawaii. So officially, point-wise, we've had 4 races, but it's not the Miss Budweiser day today. Badly damaged. We'll have to get repaired before the West Coast swing as we look at our winner taking a victory lap. And once again, look at the damage. He's barely got a running surface on the Miss Budweiser as he returns to the dock. Quite a day for Scotty Pierce, but bad luck here in the final.